makes most women start a business? Is it passion, money, or freedom? Welcome to Female Founders, the podcast that takes you behind the scene with women who are founders and CEOs to help you start and scale a successful business of your own. I am your host, Nagelia de Ravin. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Female Founders. Our guest today, Jennifer Perri, is the founder and CEO of SHERO Divorce Empowerment Coaching. Her journey from a familiar community to navigating the challenges of divorce and abuse relationships has shaped her into an inspiring force of resilience. Through her organization, Jennifer has touched many lives, offering hope or guidance and a powerful reminder that we all have the power to create our own destinies. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer, for giving me that chance to talk to you today. And I look forward to learning more about SHERO Divorce and Empowerment Coaching and also all the great things you have been doing. But can you take us back to your early years in Eddystone, Pennsylvania, and share how your upbringing and the Thai community influenced your personality and values?
Absolutely. So I grew up in a really small town outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and had a great family, middle-class family. My mom was a nurse. My dad worked at a paper company and then went into law enforcement. And, this was back in the day. I'm 52 years old. So this was back in the day where we could ride our bikes, stay out late at night, didn't have to worry about anything. We were friends with everybody that we lived around. And I had a really great upbringing. It was wonderful. My mom raised me with a servant's heart, and that's just the way that I am now. I try to be everything I possibly can for my husband and my family, and I learned that all from watching her. So she was a wonderful example for me, and I try to be that example for my children.
Wow, I love that. But when you say that, you also say your mom was a nurse. So does that mean like she also worked late and do things like that?
She did. There was some nights where, and in my senior year of high school, my mom and my dad divorced, and that was difficult for everyone. So my mom and I had to chart a new course together, and I was going through my own things, graduating high school, and she would work late at night. And so she worked in the burn center for a while and got to be there caring for people that were going through a really, really difficult period of their life. But she would work all hours of the day. And, she, in addition to that, she also had a cleaning business. So she was constantly moving.
She was busy.
She was very busy.
Sure. Like you mentioned earlier, you said that your parents got into a divorce. And I know that your company has something to do with divorce. So how did this experience impact you and how did it shape your future path?
Well, I think for me, when my parents divorced, it was the first time that I was outside of this bubble. Like I had grown up in this really small community, great friends, great kind of isolation from the real world. And then when my parents went through something that I wasn't really familiar with, it kind of took me off guard. But again, I was a senior in high school, so I was kind of my own focus, right? Yes. So for me, yes, I wanted to understand logistics within my family, but the divorce did not impact me as much as I thought it did until I got further into my senior year. And then as I went into my first relationship, my first serious relationship, which I wasn't prepared for, divorce became a really big thing for me eventually down the road, which then led me into what I do now.
So pretty much, it's your own divorce that kind of shape your own path, really.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you also mentioned getting entangled in an abuse, which is, you say you were in an abuse marriage during your journey. So can you share some of the challenges you faced during that time? And it's always a moment, right? It's always that moment that led us to say, enough is enough. So what was that moment that led you to break free from that situation?
That's a great question. And for me, I don't know, had it not been for the severity of our relationship and the severity of the abuse, if I would have ever had the courage to leave. The way that it ended was it got to be so physical that I had two small children at the time. One was 8 and one was 4. And the abuse from just me then shifted into my older son. Ooh. So not only was I a victim of what was going on, he started to go after our oldest son.
Wow.
And it got to a point where I knew that I had to not be so afraid to stay in that. I had to worry about my children. And the last time that, we had an incident that happened, he went into prison and I had to seek medical care. That's how bad it got. So I don't know. And there's a lot of times people will say, well, why didn't you just leave? And it's not that easy.
It's hard.
You spend a decade with somebody who was supposed to love you and take care of you and protect you. And now that person has been beating the heck out of you for 10 years and threatening your children, threatening your family, threatening everything around you. You feel like you have no option but to stay. So unless somebody has been through that, that's a very careless thing to say to someone. Yes. But I can honestly say it was because I was more worried about what was going to eventually happen to my children. And then it was kind of like the last time he put his hands on me, it was so severe that some other force intervened. The police got involved, and that's when that brought it to an end. I think eventually I would have gotten out as my children became older, but you never know. You're stuck in that situation and you don't know what's going to happen. So,
and I think go ahead.
Nope. That's all I was going to say.
No, I was going to say, I think that also when you get to assist something happen to your children, because as mother, we create that love, that bond from the wombs, right? It's been there since before that child even come out. And when you're looking at someone else, just can't see that love enough to just want to beat up that child. And I think that's enough will force you to even no, I'm not putting my children through this. I can do this on my own. I think eventually that will push you to do that, because I don't think you would want to see your children in pain, suffering, or having bruises going to school, which will make things even worse. And I don't understand why people want to beat up their kids. I still don't get it. I know that as I was a child once, and I'm pretty sure I was a pain in the ass at one point of my life. But the way I see it as a mom, I feel like the brain hasn't developed yet. And children are still learning, and we have to be patient, and we have to create an example for them. And as parents, we are that example. If you are beating them up, then they're going to go do the same thing. And also one thing, if they find you beating the mom, as boys, they're going to think that I can do that to my wife too, because my dad was doing it.
So when all this happened and I was on my own and my ex-husband was in prison, my son, who was 8, started getting in trouble at school. And I was getting called to the school. And it was because there were little girls that he liked and he would hit them. Because in his mind, well, my dad loves my mom and this is how he treats her. Yeah. So this is how you treat people that you like. So he was always getting in trouble for being physical, trying to show his emotion like, well, I like you. Right. He didn't know that. So you were so right about children. They learn what they live in. And my son had struggled with that for a very long time.
But now you remarried. So they have a new dad. I'm guessing if you're still married, that means that dad treat them completely different. Did that create a role model for them to, especially for the 8 years old one, to feel like, okay, no, that's not the right way. This is the right way to do this.
So it's hard to admit, but I'm to the point now where I've been married multiple times, because coming out of that first marriage, I had so much healing on myself that I had to go through that I made poor decisions afterwards. So I am now happily married. I have been with my soulmate for 8 years. He is amazing. He is an amazing role model for my kids. They love him. They adore him. He is the most incredible cheerleader for me. He's just an amazing person. So he is the person that they should have always had the benefit of knowing, but they didn't. It wasn't part of their journey until the time they met him. So, but he is phenomenal. So,
but he's there now.
Absolutely.
If they need their help, they can get it
every step of the way. Yep, every step of the way. Yep.
So also something that you talk about when I was reading about you in December 2021, you faced another major obstacle when you were diagnosed. So can you walk us through your mindset and the strategy you used to overcome such challenging situation?
Sure. So in 2021, I had felt like I had had a lifetime of experiences and I didn't need another one that I needed to go through. But there was something else that was in store for me. And I woke up and I didn't feel well. And within, we were 3 days before Christmas, I was admitted into the hospital in intensive care and I was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome. And what that does is it sheds the lining off of your nerves and it disconnects the brain from your nervous system. So within 3 hours of my diagnosis, I was in intensive care and I was paralyzed from the shoulders down. Ooh. And it was it was the scariest thing I have ever been through in my entire life. And they didn't think I was going to walk for about a year and a half. I was in the hospital for 30 days, came home still in a wheelchair, couldn't use my legs. By then I had started to regain use of my arms, but I still have fingers that I can't really feel completely. They said, we think you're going to be in a wheelchair for at least a year and a half. It took me 56 days to take my first steps. And I started doing that. I did that and I've continued to bust through every, milestone. But what I learned through the whole process was here I am, very active life, very blessed life, helping a lot of people. And now I'm in the hospital and I can't use my hands. I can't walk. If all I can do is get out of here and have the ability to talk, I knew that I could still help people. So as doctors were coming in and people were taking me to physical therapy, we were talking about life. We were talking about what was going on in their life. We were talking about things they were happy about or things that they could have done different. And I knew that I was doing exactly what I was called to do because I was able to help them talk through things. And I had a very transparent recovery. I shared it on social media. I let people see, today's a good day. Today's not a good day. Because you have to show people in your transformation the good and the bad.
Yes.
And that really, I have so many people that have come out and have become clients and things because they watched me go through one of the toughest things I ever had to face in life. And I gave them visibility that they can do the same thing. And if they need somebody to help them, I can help them.
But is that something you have to suffer for the rest of your life or eventually you go back to normal?
About 75% of people that have Guillain-Barré syndrome, they recover. You're never 100%. I will live with it for the rest of my life. You can have relapses from it. But I plan on continuing to recover, as much as I possibly can, no matter what happens. Yeah.
Hey, you're a warrior.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right.
But you know what? After you went through that COVID hit, which is right between COVID, you transitioned into coaching during the COVID pandemic, right? So what I feel like you go into the hospital, like you're saying that, well, I can't move my body. What else can I do now? But I can talk, which means you can still, like you said, you can still influence people. You can still support people with your voice. So is that what make you decided to become a coach?
Well, I was on the fence for a long time. I've spent most of my career in financial consulting, working with women, helping them get through navigating divorce and job loss and, career, all these different things. And I started when COVID hit, I didn't have my clients calling me to wanting to talk about money. They wanted to talk about life. They were losing people. They were losing jobs. People were getting sick. They were just afraid and they needed someone that was there that could listen, that could help them navigate it. So I started doing the coaching in a very light way when COVID was going on. And I thought, this is maybe where I need to be putting my focus. And then when Guillain-Barré happened, I was like, okay, I get it. I'm supposed to be coaching. This is definitely what I'm supposed to be doing. I still do financial consulting, but it's a very limited portion of my practice now.
It's more like coaching and guiding your client to the right direction.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow, your story, what can I say? You overcome a lot.
Yes.
But what are some of the key principle or lesson you have learned along your journey and that you believe can inspire others facing difficult situations?
I think that you have to find the kind of the blessings in the chaos. In the midst of everything that I was going through, there were so many small things that happened that were they turned out to be really large things in my life. And understanding that you may not be understanding what you're going through. You may not be where you want to be in your journey, but there are blessings that you can find in there. And there are a lot of things that you can learn along the way. Continue to grow through what you're going through, and you have to love yourself regardless of what it is that you're going through. And I think just finding really what it is that we all go through transformations in our life, and they lead us closer to what we should be doing and the things that really fulfill our lives. And I just encourage people to keep their eyes open for that, and to never let people come in and dictate what your life should look like. And, the name of my company is SHERO, because I believe that every woman should be the SHERO in her story, and that she's the only person that can hold that pen and write that story. So
Absolutely.
I think that's the most important thing.
But also that you've been through so much in your life as well, being with a abused husband, and seeing your parents getting divorced, and you have to deal with your children, and then meeting the wrong one, and to finally meet the right one at the end. It's like, thank God,
Right.
that took too long already.
Right.
A lot of women can relate to you, because a lot of women go through the same situation as well, even if they come out and talk about it or not. But just hearing someone else's story make them feel like, okay, other women are going through the same thing, so I'm not alone. And when it's come to SHERO, your company, and you also in the name of the company, divorce, does that mean that you also guide women who's going through divorce? Can you kind of help us understand that?
Yeah. So I am a transformational life coach. I'm also a certified divorce coach, and I'm a master money and mindset coach. So I coach in 4 areas: divorce, empowerment, mindset, and money. So people that work with me, some of them are just starting the beginning of a divorce and they need help navigating it. Others meet me at the very end and they need to claim the next chapter of their life and, reclaim their identity. So yes, I help women. I kind of come right alongside them and help them emotionally and financially transition through the process of divorce.
So when you say you help them transition to it, does that mean like you can guide them before they even want to ask for a divorce? And then after they get through divorce, what's next with my life now? So you kind of guide them through like, hey, if they come to you, said, well, I met this great guy while I was in the court, and I think he's the next one. Is that your job to tell them, you might want to take a step back for a moment?
Well, really coming in as a coach, a divorce coach, is there to be a sounding board and a thinking partner with them. One of the areas of expertise that I really work on is you have these 2 people that made this beautiful family, and now they're not married anymore, and they have to figure out how to raise their children together. So I do a lot around role playing and having conversations to make sure that the way they're communicating with their spouse or ex-spouse is a way that would be good in the eyes of their children. So I can help them with things like that, relationship things, and just helping them understand that, yes, you are going through this whole process. Nobody has ever died going just through a divorce process. That's not it. It's about figuring out where you need to be, where you're at, where you want to go, and surrounding yourself with the right team of people who will get you there. And that's
do you get involved into the legal part at all, like the lawyer's part or anything like that?
I have a very good team of attorneys that are surrounding me. So if I am called in to help understand some of the financial aspects of it, then I can work side by side with an attorney, but I swim in my own lane. I'm a coach and a financial consultant. They are an attorney and handle the legal side, but we definitely are there as a community to support our clients.
But Jennifer, one thing that's going through a divorce, one of the things that I think I haven't gone through one myself yet, hopefully not, but you never know. But I think that
one of the issues is the financial at the end of it, right? Because now you went through a divorce and then maybe they didn't have enough money. Now the mom get custody of this children with very little money. And do you kind of, as a financial coach yourself, are you able to kind of help them, help that woman, like, okay, you can't live that life you were living before. Like right now you're in a short, can you guide them into that path where financially, they can feel like maybe I'm going to be okay because I have a plan to follow?
Yes, I do. There are a lot of women that come out on the other side of divorce and they have not had their hands in the family finance. So for some of them, this is the first time they have ever had to have any involvement whatsoever with finances. And it's very overwhelming. So we put together a lifestyle plan. I inject a ton of reality into their life and just say, okay, this is what we can do. This is what we need to change and work on. And I help them make sense of it. So yes, I can take somebody who has been the captain of their financial ship or hasn't been the captain and help them make sense of what it is they need to do moving forward.
But you never got the one that's unable to pay the bills. So is there any support out there that you can guide them through, or how does that work exactly?
There are a lot of great organizations that I can help definitely find, provide resources for them and put them in connection with the right people. As far as like child support and things like that, that's usually handled in the court. It's pretty much, decided just based off of a normal calculation. But if somebody comes out of it and they're really in dire straits and they need help, there are a lot of organizations around that I can definitely put them in contact with.
But I would also think like with child support, that money could take a while before it's come in. So if that woman has nothing on hand right now, so I'll think that, especially for stay-at-home moms that didn't have a job before prior to the divorce, which means that woman probably in a big kind of trouble to come up with money to pay bills and feed the family.
Well, there are, in most of the cases, I live in the state of Georgia, and a lot of the cases that I've worked on, I probably am a part of about 50 to 75 divorce cases a year. If it goes through the court system, even it goes through mediation, there are certain parameters that are set so that both parties don't come out on the other side without resources. So a lot of times there are temporary orders that are put in place and it'll give somebody a specific amount of money for a period of time. Most of the time before even the settlements are finished, there is some revenue that is coming in. So I have not seen, knock on wood, I have not seen a woman come through the process of which I've been involved in who had no resources. Now, there are times where they may have to move in with family or they may have to move in with friends and things till they sort things out. But I have not seen any that have come through where the woman is left without anything. So that's good.
Yeah, it is. It is a good thing. So now take me to the process of working with you.
Yes, it's a very simple process. You go out to my website and you engage me in a conversation. We get to know each other. We hop on a call just like this and we have a virtual coffee chat. I see if there's things that I can do to help. And then I see if you're really willing to want to receive the help. I meet a lot of people who know they need to transform their life, but they're not ready. And that's okay. Everybody heals in their own time. But I can work with, I have clients all across the world. You don't have to live in Georgia. I work with people in the country and outside of the country. And I do one-on-one coaching. And I am also developing a program where it's group coaching. So I'm very easy to get a hold of.
So now when you say that group coaching, how's that going to work?
So how that would work is I'm developing courses right now where if somebody is coming to me and they need help going through divorce, there's a divorce course they can go through. And then once a week, we're going to come in with maybe 4 or 5 or 6 other people who can be there to support one another. I wanted to keep one-on-one coaching. That was kind of where my heart was, but my calendar doesn't allow it. And I've also learned too that especially with women going through divorce, a sense of community is really important.
Yes.
So having other women who can say, oh my gosh, I'm going through that, or my kids are going through that, or I've seen some beautiful friendships come out of that. So it would be very similar to this, just you would see more little faces on the screen with us.
So also, will that be cheaper? Because one-on-one will take more of your time. So compared to a group, yes, that still take your time. I'm not saying it doesn't take your time, but you have, it's a limited shorter amount of time because you are in a group together.
Mm-hmm. I have different levels of connectivity. I have people that want to work with me completely. Like, I need to work with you. I don't want to do group setting. I don't want to do anything. And that is more expensive because you are taking one-on-one time. So, but my goal is to make sure that we have resources available for everybody at every income level. I have a ton of free resources that I always give away. So if there's anything that I can do, because I remember where I was. I remember what it was like to search for somebody like me and I couldn't find her. So I wanted to be the woman that I needed. I want to be that for my clients. So regardless of where you're coming in at income, there are things that I can do to help you.
So don't feel afraid that I don't have much money. I'm not going to reach out to her because she's going to tell me no. So there'll always be something that you can do to support regardless.
Yes, absolutely.
But now, when you say you have your course, can they take the course without being a part of the group, or the group is a part of the course regardless? They need to be a part of that.
We're going to have it to where I never want somebody to feel like they have to be forced through healing at a pace of someone else. So I want to have it to where courses are available where they can come in and they can go through. Maybe it takes them a whole year to go through a course that would have taken 8 weeks for somebody else. I want them to have that ability. And there's times that they can interact with me as well throughout the course. But we will have it available to where you can participate in the group, or you can just go through the course. And then when you're ready, put your hand up and say, you know what, I'm ready now to move into that other aspect.
So you're not pushing anyone to do something they're not ready to do yet?
Not at all. Mm-mm.
But let me ask you though, let's say that they're taking the course, and don't get me wrong, some women, they feel like they don't want to be judged because the situation is very bad. They might want to do one-on-one with you while taking the course. Will that be okay as well?
Absolutely. And I am a very judgment-free zone. I have been through abuse, single mom, divorce, loss, health issue. Like, this is a no judgment zone. There is not anything that I either haven't experienced or have heard. So, my goal is to make sure I meet women where they're at, and for them to feel comfortable and realize more than anything that they're not alone and they don't have to go through this alone.
But Jennifer, how can we judge any woman when us ourselves we are work in progress?
You're absolutely right. But there are so many women who I felt judged in my life. You know what I mean? Like, there's things that we feel judged for. But I think and that's where a lot of people who find me, they'll watch me on Instagram for a while, or they'll watch me on LinkedIn, and they get to know me and they say, okay, I feel like I know her. And then I can approach her and this is who I am. I'm like this on camera, off camera. This is just me. So it's when you get to know me and you get to know my story, I have nothing to judge. What am I going to judge? I've been through it and done it. So how am I going to judge it?
What you see is what you get. There's nothing else behind it.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So do you have any plan to add anything else other than the course and the group to SHERO Divorce and Empowerment Coaching?
You know, that's great. That's a great question too. I've been asked to speak at a lot of different places. I have 3 best-selling books now. I just released another book that I just did with Dick Vitale. I was out in Beverly Hills this past week, and I was a guest on Lisa Nichols' Breaking Through show. And while I was out there, we decided that she's going to do a book and I'm going to participate in it. So I'm going to be releasing a book with Lisa Nichols next year. And, we plan to hopefully do more speaking, more retreats, more things that people can get involved in. And really I don't want women to spend their life wasting time on things that I wasted my time on. So I want to be here to say, hey, listen, I've already tried going down that way and this way. Didn't work. Don't waste your time. Let's go in this direction.
What?
So
Where have you been all my life?
Waiting to get to this moment, right? We're going to try to continue to provide whatever resources that we see, our clients need. So whatever that looks like. I just recently opened up being able to do Voxer and WhatsApp support. So now people can get a hold of me a lot quicker than they could before. So again, just expanding into the areas that people need me for.
But your books, are they focusing on healing? Can you tell us more about them?
So the first book I did was in 2013 with Jack Canfield from Chicken Soup for the Soul. And it was Dare to Succeed. It was about, going through everything that you go through in life, but pushing forward to succeed in what it is that you want. The second book is called Quiet and Badass. It's talking about, it's 18 women who came forward and kind of shared their stories of perseverance and going through the things in life that they went through to get to where they are today. And it became an international bestseller the same day it released. The book with Dick Vitale is called Never Give Up. And it's about really never giving up on what it is that you want for your life and in your dreams. They're all collective stories of people who kind of beat their own personal, their odds and went forward to do the things that they need to do. I would say that there's healing in all of them. And I know the book that we're doing with Lisa Nichols is called Rise Up. And it's going to be about, literally rising up out of your circumstances and going out and getting what you want. So I would say there's healing in all of them.
And all of them, because you get to connect it with other women as well. You get to hear the stories, the things that they went through. Just because you see a woman well-dressed, high heels, standing in the stage talking, doesn't mean that they went through any to hell to get there. As women, we have to fight to get where we want to be. And there's always a story behind it. So Jennifer, now I know you're going to have a book next year with Lisa. But looking ahead, what are your goals for the future for SHERO Divorce and Empowerment Coaching? And how do you envision continuing to make a positive impact on people's lives?
Well, I want to get the word out. I want to get people to know that I exist, that SHERO coaching is out there. So I want to expand more outside of the United States and Canada. And I want to bring on other people who learn what I do, who coach my method and are able to come on and have literally create a full team of other women coaches who are here to empower other women going through transformation. So I would say expand the regions and bring on more people.
Then how can other women support you through your journey?
Well, they can reach out to me on my website, which is my name, Jennifer Perri, spelled with an I.com. And you can just connect with me on there, follow what I'm doing, reach out, let me know how I can be part of your life and encourage you on your journey.
So pretty much in another word, let's be each other's cheerleaders so we can keep moving forward.
Right. Exactly right.
So now, in your opinion, what is the most important message or piece of advice would you like to share with individuals who may be facing or adversity or a challenging life situation right now?
I would say the number one most important thing to remember is that not to be afraid to ask for help. I think that for me, I was afraid to ask for help as I was going through things that I was going through in my life. And had I asked for help sooner, my life may be different. And I know I meet with so many women every year who are just afraid to put their hand up and say, you know what? I know this isn't the life that I was meant to live. I know that I should be doing something different. I don't know where to start, and they feel overwhelmed. All you have to do is put your hand up and somebody will come alongside you and help. And in the lives of my clients, that's what I do. So I would just say, if you're going through something and you're overwhelmed and you're not sure what to do, just ask for help. Find somebody who is already doing what you want to do. Find somebody who's living the life that you want to live, because success leaves clues. And if you look at those clues, it's going to lead you down the path of where you need to be and surround you with the right people. And just also understand, as you decide to move forward, you're going to probably lose relationships, and that's difficult. But you want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with positive advocates in your life who believe in you and are going to encourage you and pick you up on the days that you fall. But just don't be afraid to ask for help. That's the biggest thing.
And you know what? One thing that I learned early on in my life is some people will come to your life. They're not supposed to stay. They're supposed to teach you something.
Exactly
and grow.
Right.
So
exactly
just
right.
because if someone come, they leave, don't take it the wrong way. Ask yourself that question. What am I supposed to learn? What am I supposed to get from that person that I haven't get yet? And try to learn it and take that with you and be strong with it to the next chapter of your life.
Absolutely. I think people come into your life to do one of two things: to teach you a lesson or to have an impact and become a blessing in your life.
Yes.
And sometimes those are hard to decipher, but you're right. You have to know when there's a relationship or a personality that no longer serves you, for you to be your best self, you need to let it go. And that's not easy, because sometimes that's family.
It is. And that's the sad part, isn't it? So you will know that person your entire life. Now you need to be like, okay, I need to step away because I need to move forward, and I can't move forward with you anymore.
Exactly.
And you know what? If you have to cry, cry. If you have to scream, scream. The only thing is don't hurt yourself, but keep on moving forward.
Exactly right. Exactly.
And I guess the other question I wanted to ask you is, I know you're going to launch the program very soon, because you said the course and then the group. So do you have an idea when all this will come out?
It will be before the end of the year. I'm thinking probably in the next month or so, we are going to have things up and ready for people to interact on a self-paced way with courses, be able to interact in group coaching. But in the meantime, if there's an area that you're struggling in, please reach out to me, because there are things that I can help you with right now.
But you will announce it when it's launched, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Jennifer, for giving me that chance to talk to you, to learn about you, all the great things you are doing. I look forward to reading that book with Lisa to see how it comes out, and I'll be in the background cheerleading for you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity, too.
Thank you for listening to Female Founders Podcast. That's it for this week's episode. Be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast app or connect with us on womel.com so that you don't miss our next episode. See you next time. Bye for now.